So now let's talk about topics. You have your group, and now let's focus on what kind of topics might go in your group. So we made the Garvey's class topic, and it automatically comes with one topic. And this is just to help you see how you might use Flipgrid. So you'll see some sort of hello topic that's automatically added. So if I click on this topic, it will open. It's already been created, and this is a place where I could assign it to my students and they could record their response. So this is a topic that's already made. So the best thing I can do to show you how to use topics is to actually walk you through the process of creating your own topic. So I'm going to go to Create Topic. And again, a topic is just a discussion that you're wanting to create within your group. So let's say that we are studying a book and I want my students to kind of leave a book review. So I'm going to call this book review topic. And then that's going to be my title. And you see you have 35 characters for your title. The other requirement is that you leave some sort of prompt because the students have to know what is it that they are going to be providing feedback or conversation items on. And so I can leave my prompt for their discussion here. So as I'm leaving this prompt, I want you to notice that there are some items that you can use. I've put in the text here, but you do have some formatting that you can use, including links. So you actually could create a link in your text to go somewhere. In addition to that, look at all these different types of media you can include. You can add resources that are either uploaded, so you can upload a video, you can record a video, which I'll show you in just a moment. You can upload things, include a video from YouTube, upload images. You can add a Giphy, emojis. There's all sorts of things you can add. If you have a Wakelet collection, if you have a Nearpod lesson, all of these different things that you can add to your topic introduction. And these are important because what is it going to need for you to explain to the students what you want them to do? So these can be your supportive things. Now, before I record that video, I do want to come down and show you the rest of this. So you do have to decide if there are additional permissions. Now, right now, we've set my classroom up to be synchronized with Google Classroom. So anybody in my Google Classroom is going to be able to access this. But you could add a guest password so that you can allow some families and guests to join the topic if that's appropriate. For this one, it's not, so I'm going to leave that off. Here in Essentials, this is important because when I put this topic up, you can allow your videos to be moderated. And that means I have to watch each one and it's kind of held in this little safe place until I approve it to be posted. You know your students, so you know if this is something that you would like to do just in case to avoid any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on topic moderation for mine. Also, you have a list of different recording times. Now, these can be very helpful because maybe you're trying to make them do a summary of something. In 15 seconds, you have to summarize this whole thing, so it's increasing the challenge. You can decide what is appropriate. So I'm going to leave a minute for this one because I'm going to give them 1 minute to do all those things, but you can choose the recording time. After videos are posted, you can also allow comments and videos. So I, as a student, could also leave a video comment on someone else's video. So I could type in my comment or post a video. You can allow video only, text only, or maybe in this situation, we don't want any other comments. So you can decide what you'd like. I like to allow on this particular one, video and text comments because I'm going to be able to approve those in moderator anyway. Also, you have the ability to turn on closed captions. There is an automatic closed caption portion, and if your videos are going to be filmed in a particular language, then you can choose that language here. So if I were a language teacher and maybe I'm a Spanish teacher and I want those posts to be in Spanish, then I'm going to want to change this to Spanish to make sure that the closed captioning matches the language of the video submissions. So I'm going to have English because in this one I'm going to have them do English responses. Now there are some more options and I do like to look at all the options. So I'm going to go ahead and say more options. and just show you a few things. Now, you can add up to 9 different resources to your topic introduction. So I could put the URL of the link and the title of the link here, and I can add up to 9 things. Maybe there's a Google Doc that's a rubric that's going to help them, or maybe there's a list of resources, or maybe a link to some other materials. You can add attachments if that will help your students do a better job at creating their video reflection. I also will note that, and we kind of talked about this earlier, that your topics start as active. Active means I can take submissions, they're good. Frozen means you can see the comments and the submissions, but you can't add new ones. And hidden means the whole entire topic is hidden, so you can't look at the videos anymore or submit them. So that's what those 3 are. Now, you as the teacher will always be able to see topics and submissions, but this is for the people coming to your topic. You also can schedule your topic. You can schedule it to be active and frozen. So if I wanted it to be active now and then freeze on a particular date, I can actually choose my frozen date. And it also, you can make sure your time zone is set properly. So then we have notifications, and we kind of talked about that for your whole group, but you can actually determine notifications on specific topics as well. So this works very similar to the whole group, but these are just topics notifications. So then let's talk about video responses. You have some settings that you can control for your students as they are submitting a video. Now, as default, they allow cover images and videos, which means they can put an image to show their entire video, and they can also use image effects, and we'll show what those are in a little bit. But you can also decide if you want them to only be used on the cover images, like I can use stickers and filters on the cover images, but not in the actual video. Maybe I want them to be able to use them not in their cover image, but on the videos, or maybe I don't want them to use any stickers and filters and video effects. You have to decide what's appropriate for your students, and you'll see a little more about that later. You also can allow external links as attachments. So if they want to say, I loved your video, I found this resource, I want to share it with you, they could also do that. Then there's the ability to add likes. This is one of those touchy things. If you're afraid feelings will get hurt, this is something that you can turn off. It is off by default, but you can turn it on to allow others to like each other's videos. So let's talk about download and share. This simply means if I own my video, if I'm student A and I created a video, I can download it and share it. It doesn't mean others can download it. It's just the person who's the owner. But if I don't want them to be able to do that, I can toggle that off. There's also some simple editing tools. If you want to allow them to do some trimming or rearranging video clips, you can leave that on. If you don't want any video editing, you can toggle it off. This is your view count, so students can see how many times their specific video has been watched. Again, this is sort of like likes. If you're afraid their feelings are going to get hurt, you can turn that off as well. Now, sticky notes are something I'll show you actively in a moment, but it's a way that you can put up notes of what you're going to say, so it's easier for those students who get a little screen shy or maybe kind of freeze when they turn the camera on. So I'm going to allow those sticky notes for those students who need them. Also, in the feedback section, this is basically for you. Are you going to give basic feedback, or do you want to create a rubric with custom feedback? I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. If you want to use the custom feedback, it's a very simple thing to step through, but I'm just going to leave that on basic feedback. Now, you do have the ability, if this is the setting you always want to use on every video you do, you can actually save them as your default settings. So that means if I never want to have view count on, if I never want to have likes on, I can just save those as default, and so the next time I create a topic, it'll automatically have those. So that's up to you. So before I click create topic, I am going to go back up to the top as I mentioned, and I'm going to show you how to record your own video. And this is also going to show you the tools that your students will have available if you have those on. So I'm going to go ahead and record a video for my book review topic, and I'm giving them directions on how to do it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to copy this because I might need that on my sticky note, and I'm going to go ahead and record a video. So as I turn record on, you'll notice that it's asking to have access to my microphone and camera. So I have to say allow. So now that we're in here, I'm going to go up to New Note, and I'm actually going to paste in the assignment so I'll remember exactly what I told them to do, and I can move this. This will not be recorded. This is just for the user. That's that sticky note component. I would show my students how to use the sticky note because this is going to be super helpful for those students who get camera shy. You also can flip your screen. So if you needed to flip to a back camera, if you're using your Chromebook and you needed to flip to, if you have one that has the back camera, that's what that flip means. There's also the options button. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So you can upload clips. You can only do microphone so that you're not capturing your face. I also can mirror my video. So if I have on a shirt that has words on it, and now the words are backwards and I need to mirror them, you can do that as well. I also can mute my microphone if I wanted to do a silent video. And I also can record my screen. So you do have a screen recorder built in. So what kind of options are you going to want to use? So you can decide those options as you go. Now, I also want to show you effects. There are some filters that are kind of fun that you can use. So I'll turn on filters just so you can see. There's some fun color ones and, some that look like things are moving and blowing and you can kind of play with those. The reason I show you these is this. So let's say that I'm doing a video. Oh, that looks terrifying. I'm doing a video where it's supposed to be old school, like back in the day, and I wanted to do black and white before color. So that can kind of give you some ideas of how to use that. Or, if you just want to be silly, there's all sorts of things. I wanted to look like a Lego. Who is this person recording this? I don't know. Or you can just choose to do none. It's entirely up to you. So I'm actually going to, just for fun, I'm going to use this one just to show my students that this is going to be a fun topic. So I'm going to go ahead and use this filter. So now I'm going to go back and see text. Now you can add text right on your slide. So if we're talking about a book report. So I'm going to use this superpower one, and I'm going to turn this on and say book reports, yay. And I can move this around. So if I want to use this kind of at the center, notice I have some flipping, some different things I can do. So I'm going to make this smaller. So I'm going to keep that up the whole time. So that's our text. So some of the other options I can use, ink. Ink is something that you can use to draw. So if I wanted to be able to use a certain color to draw, you see that I can draw that there. You can draw with using your ink tool if you want. I'm going to go ahead and undo that just so that you can see. Where that's really helpful is in this next one. You have the ability to have a whiteboard, and there's different kinds of whiteboards. So, whatever it is that you're looking for, and some even look like paper. So if you wanted to kind of have a board over here where you're on the one side and then you're showing them how to do something, I can put up the board and then use my ink to write on the board. So you see how you can choose to do that under effects. So I'm actually going to turn off that board, but that's something that you can do as well. Then we have the stickers, and those are super fun if you're wanting to use those to kind of decorate your selfie at the end, which you'll see, but you also can just kind of put up stickers to get your students interested. So I'm going to see if there's some stickers on books. And so let's find this nice book here, and I can move it over. So now I've kind of decorated, like we're going to do book reports, and this is my little kind of headline over here. Going back to effects, those are stickers. You can also bring pictures in. So if you wanted to add a custom sticker, you can actually drop your image in there and do that as well. And there are some fun frames. So if you wanted to put a frame around yours, there's all sorts of things. And you can see how this could get written. Now we can be underwater and talk about books. Lots of different frames that you can use to kind of make this work for you. Whatever it is that you like, it's all up to you. It's just super fun. But you can see how this is also where your students are going to get lost, and they're going to spend a lot of time doing that. So you may want to come up with some specifics on you can use 2 stickers, you can use 1 frame, or you can use 1 sticker and no frame. So you can see how you might want to have some specifics later for this. So those are all your effects. Those are the things I could do before I even start recording so that as I'm recording, those things will be available to me. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and I'm going to get ready to record. And that's what this center button is for. So I'm going to make sure I use my sticky note to help me. And I already have my little book report thing right up there. And so that will be super helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and click record so you can see how this will look for your students as well as you if you decide to do an introductory video. Gives you a countdown. Hi guys, guess what? We're going to be doing book reports and you're going to create a post about your book that needs to have the genre, your favorite part of the book, but don't give too much away. And why do you think others should read it? So you're going to give 3 different things in your post and make it exciting. Don't forget to use the special effects to help you and the stickers to help you convey your message. And use the sticky notes if it helps. I just used one, but you never know because you can't see it. But anyway, book reports. Let's have fun. I will point out to you that you can press the pause button or the space bar but to stop recording the video. And now I'm going to go ahead and click next. Hi guys, guess what? We're going to be doing book. I'm going to pause that and let you know that we can do some editing here. So there's a little bit of trimming that we can do. If we can add more video. If I needed to record a little more, I could. So some tips of things that you can do. Hi guys, guess what? We're going to be doing. So to edit things, you can drag the handle if I wanted to cut some things out. You can do several different things to edit your videos. But I'm going to go ahead and say that's done, and I'm going to click confirm. Hi guys. Sorry, that keeps playing that video. You can see it a lot, so you can make sure it's exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and close that note, and so you see it never showed up on my video. And I'm going to go ahead and click next, and now it's going to say, what do you want to use for your cover photo? Now, they selected a frame for my video for the cover photo, but some people like to either upload their own that has a title with it or take a selfie. So for this one, I'm going to take a selfie so you can see how this works. So I'm going to go ahead and take my selfie. If I want to add effects, I can do that too. If I want some super fun stickers, I will tell you that there are some things that you can add. And there's also American Sign Language if you needed those. There's also some magic, related ones. There's all sorts of different things, but I do want to show you accessories because maybe I want to look like a super cool teacher. So let's say I want to put on these little sunglasses here and notice it they're right in the middle so I can stand where they're going to work, and if I needed to make them smaller I can. So there they are on my eyes, and I'm going to take my selfie, but maybe I also want another effect. So if I go back to my stickers and I go to accessories, maybe there's something that's a hat. So if I wanted to be a princess for the day, I can move that princess crown up to the top. So you can see how you can make this sort of fun. And now I'm going to take my selfie. And if you like it, you can confirm. So there's my selfie. That's going to be the cover of my video. So I'm going to confirm it. And notice it's uploading, and you don't want to close it while it's processing. But what we've done now is we've created a video. Yay, I love that that does the little fireworks. And now this video will be part of my topic. So I'm going to go ahead and click create topic so you see how this works. And again, I can share my topic to Google Classroom. Now, this is not your whole entire group. This is just a topic within inside your group. So now let's see the topic. So they can come here and play it. Hi, guys. So they can see that when they come to it, and they'll be able to record their own responses to it. I also want to show you that because it has immersive reader built in, if I'm a student, I can come here and listen to that. So that is how simple it is to create a topic. So if I go back to my Garvey's class, I now have the book review topic and I have that original hello topic, and I can keep adding topics to this classroom. They can make sure to come to my group and find the topic, or I can make sure to share them that specific topic. But that is how you make a topic.